start.
Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Once again, we are in fourth lecture. So I hope my first three lectures you would have seen on you would have seen from the YouTube. This is the fourth session, and today is very known topic. Every one of you must be knowing what is voice. Otherwise, we always say what is active and passive voice. Today we start active voice is there, passive voice is there, but in fact active and passive हटाएं उसको तो फिर क्या बचता है? Voice. What is voice? Voice is the form of the verb. It is form of the verb, which indicates with the subject, which indicates when the subject does this work, whether the subject does this work or something has been done to it. I told you, okay, voice is the form of verb. What does verb tells us? Which indicates whether the subject does this work. Subject, this work. And verb always tells us about the subject, whether subject is working, is doing something, or something has been done, to the subject. So this is voice. Again, I repeat, voice is the form of verb which indicates whether the subject does this work or something has been done to it. So now this is the definition of voice. There are three kinds of voices. First is active voice, okay? Second is passive voice, and third is quasi voice. Quasi-passive voice. Now this quasi-passive voice must be new thing for you. Otherwise, what we know, active voice and passive voice. But now I tell you that there are three kinds of voices. Now we just discuss about the active voice. First we discuss what is the voice. It is the form of verb. Now here, what is active voice? When the subject of a sentence is the doer or actor. Now every sentence has subject, you know well, and after subject, what does come? After subject, verb comes, and then it comes the object. So subject, verb, and object. So when the subject of sentence is the doer, subject is doer, it means the verb is active voice. Here we try to know whether verb is in active voice or in so how can we understand the verb is active voice? When the subject is the doer of action or the subject adds something, subject is doing something, that verb is active voice. It is so because this subject is active. So as for example, I do this work. Now who does do the work? I do this work. So I subject, do is verb, this work is object. Otherwise, in grammar, I pronoun, do verb, and this work is noun. But this pronoun stands for subject and do is verb. this work is noun, stands for object. So here you can find that subject is doing. It means verb is in active voice. So I have written in brackets, I do this work. Now second example is there, the lion killed the deer. Again, now first sentence was in the present tense and second sentence is in the past tense. Lion killed. Now again, killed tells us that lion is doing something. The action or the kind of work is being done by the subject that is told by a verb killed. What type of work lion is doing? It is clear from killed. So we cannot say the lion is running. So the lion killed the deer means verb tells us about the action. Verb tells us about the action of the subject. So here lion is the subject. So killed is a verb that is in active voice, and this sentence is in active voice form because subject is active and something is done on the deer. Whom did the lion kill? The answer is the deer. लायन ने किसको कत्ल मारा? तो हम कहेंगे डियर को. अगर हम कहें कि डियर को कौन कत्ल कर रहा है तो हम कहेंगे कौन? लायन. whom? डियर. तो who did kill the deer? Who say, when we ask the question with who, then the answer is lion. So lion is subject and the deer is object, and here killed is in the active voice. So this sentence is in active voice because the subject is active. So this is active voice. Now passive voice, when the subject of a sentence is acted upon verb, is in passive voice. In the active voice, subject is doing something. Subject of the sentence is the doer of action. But in passive voice, something is being done to the verb. Something is being done to the subject. So when this position comes, then we say verb is in passive voice because verb tells us that something is acted upon the verb. It is also because the subject is passive. So this work is done by me. I do this work. Now I do this work, I subject, and do work. I do the work. Work is object. Now in passive voice, the object of the subject will come at the place of subject in passive voice. The object of the active voice, the object of the verb in active voice takes the place. It comes in first position. It comes first. It means Now the object takes the place of subject, and then there is me, that is the subject. In active voice, that becomes the object. In passive voice, means subject takes the place of object, and object in active voice, that takes place the subject. So this work, then there is verb done by me. So here to be verb, we use to be verb is and past participle of the do. That is do, did, and done. So this work is done by me. So in passive voice, two things have been changed. Three things. One is object the takes place the place of subject, and then you see that do verb is changed into the past participle of the verb do. Past participle of do is done, and it also carries helping verb. To be verb is means the object, now subject, this word object, object which was object in the active voice, that becomes subject in the passive voice, and then is done by me. Me, subject of I, subject of active voice, that becomes that takes place the object. So the deer was killed by the lion. We have changed the lion killed the deer, as this sentence is in past tense. So therefore, we need to be verb was, and killed, that was in the past form, past tense. Again, killed, killed. So past participle of kill is killed, and the deer was killed by the lion. So here again, the object of the active voice takes the place of subject in passive voice, and the lion, the subject of the active voice, takes the place of object. So the deer was killed by the lion. Now third is quasi passive voice. Quasi passive voice, again, this is the third kind of voice. So verb is called quasi passive voice when its usage looks almost passive. Yani it looks almost, its usage looks almost passive voice. However, it is actually active voice. For example, oil sells cheap. तेल जो है वो सस्ता मिल रहा है, तेल की बिक्री सस्ती हो रही है. तो oil sells cheap, it looks just like a passive voice, meaning oil is cheap when it is sold. So when one speaks in a passive voice, they don't use verbs that are active. So oil sells cheap looks just like passive voice, otherwise it's active voice. when one, you see that it, oil is cheap when it is sold. Now it is sold by a shop, by a person, suppose. So again I repeat, okay, when its usage looks almost passive, however it is actually activized. For example, oil sells cheap, meaning oil is cheap when it is sold. So I sell oil cheap. Oil sales cheap means a person sells oil cheap. So this is active voice. But oil sales cheap, it looks just like passive voice. Otherwise, it's not passive voice, but it is active voice. As I told you, okay, this is a just three words. These are three words. Oil sales cheap. So it looks almost passive voice. But in fact, it means I sell oil cheap. So I say I'll cheap. It is active voice because I is active. The subject of the sentence is doer of the action. So in the second, kites are flying. Now kites are flying. Again, it looks just like a passive voice, but its meaning is that kites are being flied by a boy. Kites are being flied by some people. Meaning kites are being flied by people. So kites are flying. This is just like, it looks just like, you see that, passive voice, but it is not passive voice. It is active voice, and its passive voice can be kites are being flied by a bird. Means boys are flying kites. Kites are flying means you just put the subject boys and then verb is boys are flying kites. But we say kites are flying. So in passive voice, we can say kites are being flied by a bird. Now, being flied is helping verb of continuous tense because kites are flying is in present continuous tense. So in present tense, we use the to be verb, present to be verb, then past participle of the verb. But in present continuous tense, we use to be verb are being. That shows the continuous. And again, flight, it is past participle of fly. So kites are flying, meaning in passive voice, kites are being flied by boy. Now, if we say it in active voice, kites are being flied by a boy is flying kites. So, quasi-passive voice, its usage looks almost passive. I see it's not passive voice, but its usage is just like passive voice. But actually, it is not passive voice, it is actually active voice. So that's why we say it passive voice, and this is and this is a third kind of voices. As first was active voice, then passive voice, then passive voice. Active voice we just described, and now passive voice also we did. Now this is passive voice, passive voice also we did. Now this is again a new slide. First we First we discussed that what is voice, then kinds of voices. Three kinds of voices we did. Now, in fact, voice naturally is the form of tense which indicates that what the subject is doing in a sentence. So now if we think about the sentence, what is sentence? What is the structure of sentence? Now sentence first go, that comes subject, then comes verb, then comes object. In every sentence, doer of the action comes first. That what kind of action is being done by the subject, that is shown by verb. Means verb shows the kind of action of the subject. As I teach you English, now teach tells the kind of action of I, that is teaching. You are learning English, so learning, learn, our learning indicates present continuous tense, and our learning also tells about the kind of action that is done by you. You are learning English. So verb tells the kind of action that is done by a subject in the sentence. So the structure of the sentence, subject comes first, then comes verb, then comes object. Object means a thing, a person, or anything that the action of the subject is applied upon it. Suppose I eat a mango. Now I is subject, eat is verb, that is about the action that is done by I, and object is mango, on which action of the subject is applied. That verb of the sentence tells us that action of the subject I is done on the mango. तो जिसके ऊपर काम किया जाए, किसी के ऊपर काम हो रहा है, तो वो ऑब्जेक्ट हो जाता है. हम उसको उर्दू में कहते हैं मफऊल, और सब्जेक्ट कहते हैं हम फाइल. तो फाइल का अमल होता है ऑब्जेक्ट के ऊपर, और ये पूरा ऑब्जेक्ट का अमल, ये पूरा सब्जेक्ट का अमल और किसके ऊपर अमल हो रहा है वो हमें बताता है वर्ब. So that's why we say voice is the form of verb. So now as sentence is there, Rama writes a story. Rama indicates that it's subject. Why? Because it is writing. Because he is writing. So Rama is the doer of action. What kind of action? Action or kind of work is writing. What is he writing? A story. That is object. So what kind of voice? That is active voice. If we leave it and we go back, that sentence, Rama writes a story, I write a letter. So I say sentence structure is subject, verb, and object. But if I say I write, I talk, you listen. So listen is verb, you listen, you is subject, but there is no object. So you will be confused. That sentence is, the structure of sentence is subject, verb, and object. So it's not necessary that if subject is there, verb is there, and there's no object, but sense is clear that you listen, you sing. Object is there. You sing a song. So we say you sing, it's okay. You is subject because you are singing and sing is verb. And where is object? There's no object. So if there's no object, it doesn't mean it's not sentence. Sentence is there. Sentence is there. Sentence is complete because it gives a complete sense. Okay, you sing. I just teach. Naturally, I teach something. Something is there that is hidden. So sentence structure is subject, verb, no doubt object is there. If we write object, if we don't write object, it doesn't matter, but it gives the sense of, it gives clear sense. So I teach is also sentence. You sing also sentence without telling the object. Now we come down. Rama writes a story. If we say Rama writes, again this is sentence because writes means he is doing something. What is he writing? A story, a letter, lesson, homework, whatever object is there that is hidden. So without object, it is also a sentence that Rama writes. But writes means Rama is doing something, is writing something, that is a story or a letter, whatever you like to write. So in any way, Rama is subject, writes verb, a story is object. Now writes is shows that it is present tense. Now suppose Rama writes a story, it is active voice. We come down, is subject and O is object. So in passive voice, in active voice, there is S, there is subject. In active voice, there is S means there is subject first. Then arrow indicates O means then comes object. But in passive voice, O takes the place of S. So we write O, then arrow indicates that S, that indicates subject, means in active voice, S comes, subject comes first, then comes object, and it shows the action of subject is done, or subject is, or a person is actor or doing something. But in passive voice, object O comes first, then comes subject, means something is done upon the subject, and here subject is passive, so that's why we can say it's passive voice, and verb of this passive voice is passive verb. What is the third thing? Okay. In this way, never change the tense. Oh yes, the tense of active voice cannot be changed. This we try to understand. I say the tense of the voice cannot be changed. If active voice is in present tense, passive voice should be also in present tense. If active voice is in present continuous tense, if active voice is in present continuous tense, when we change it into passive voice, then the tense of passive voice must be present continuous tense. It means first thing is subject and object. Second thing is object takes place the subject, and S means subject takes place the object. So S, O, and then O and S. So now third, what is third thing? The verb never change. So Rama writes as a story. A story will come first, will take the place of subject. Then we need verb, that is write. Now write is verb. If we look at the right and we ask what is your tense, right will tell us I am in present tense. If 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 the main verb is in present tense, then we need to see that to be verb of present tense. So a story, what is the to be verb of present tense? That is and are. Is for singular and are for plural. So a story is. Now this will take the place of subject. A story is. Now we come to the verb, principal verb or main verb, that is writes. As we know the rule that in passive voice, the verb of active voice will be changed into its past participle. And what is the past tense of write? Wrote. And past participle of write, that is written. So a story is written by whom? By Rama. So now Rama subject takes place of the object, and a story object takes place of the subject. So this is passive voice because subject is in passive form. Now this I just told you about the tense. Now again here I explained the present tense. Now just we discussed also present tense before, but now this chart shows present tense. In present tense, to be verbs are is and are. As is used for singular subject or singular object, and are is plural to be verb. Now mother cooks the food. So mother, what is its position? Is it object or subject? Naturally, mother is noun, but it stands for the subject. It is the doer. What does she do? She cooks. What does she cook? The food. Means mother's action is applied on the food, and food, the noun, stands for object. So mother subject, cooks verb, the food, that is object. Now this is active voice. Now we change this mother cooks the food. We change this sentence into passive voice. How? As we discussed previously, that in passive voice, object O takes place of subject S. So O, that is the food is object, so it will take place of the subject, it will become the food. The food is object, but in passive, it will take the place of subject. Verb is cooks. Now this is present tense. Cooks is present tense, and mother is noun stands for subject, but in third 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 person. So that's why we have placed s after the verb. So it becomes cooks. So cooks is present tense. So now in passive voice, we need to be verb of present tense that is written above is or as food is singular, so we will use is. And according to the rule, when we change the active voice into the passive voice, then the verb is changed into the past participle of the main verb. The main verb is cook, cooks, cooked, and cooked. Sometimes verb present tense, past tense, and past participle are same. Play, played, cooked, cooked. So object, the food takes place of the subject, and we have written the food. And cooks is verb in present tense. We have written is to be verb of present, and cooked has been changed into past participle, that is cooked. By whom? By mother. We add a word by mother. Now, if you judge that mother cooks the food, that is present tense. The food is cooked by mother. This is passive voice, but it is also in present tense. So as I told you that tense of the voice can never be changed. If it is present tense, in active voice present tense will be present tense in passive voice also. Yes, a girl writes a story, writes present tense. A story is written is here. The food is cooked by mother. What the tense? We look at the to be verb, that is. So is tells us that this passive voice is in present tense. Cooked, as far as cooked is concerned, we know that in passive voice we always use past participle of the verb. Suppose here I say mother cooked the food. Now mother cooked the food. The food was cooked by mother. Now past continuous past tense, mother cooked. In passive voice, the food was cooked. You can understand that in active voice, verb is in past tense, and in passive voice, the main verb is again in past tense or past participle, the same. Cooked means in passive voice, we cannot understand or we cannot know the tense from the principal verb. But we know the tense of the passive voice from its to be verb, that is or was. As the food was cooked by mother, so was tells us that the food was cooked by mother is in past tense, and this is active voice. This is passive voice of the past tense, but just I went to the past tense. Otherwise, it's present tense, and the food is cooked by mother. So I mean to say, in every tense, in passive voice, main verb is used the past participle of the verb. But passive voice का जो tense है, वो हमें उसके टू बी वर्ब से पता चलता है। जैसे मैंने कहा द फूड वाज कुक्ड, तो वाज से पता चलता है कि द फूड वाज कुक्ड बाय मदर। मीन दिस सेंटेंस इज इन पास्ट टेंस बिकॉज वाज कुक्ड। अच्छा, इज कुक्ड, तो इज बताता है कि ये पैसिव वॉइस सेंटेंस इज इन प्रेजेंट टेंस। In the same way, all the tenses changes according to the position. All the to be verbs are changing according to the position of, according to the tense of main verb. Main verb is principal verb. If principal verb is cooked, to be verb is is. If principal is cooked, to be verb of past tense will be was. If I say mother has cooked, now has cooked shows that it is present perfect. So the food has been cooked by mother. Has been cooked. This is the to be verb of present perfect. And cooked remains same past participle. So as if I say you very easy, if I tell you very easy example, okay, I write a letter is written past participle. I wrote a letter was written. Look at the same written, but was to be verb is of past tense. If I say I have written a letter has been written. So again, principal verb is past participle, but only changes the to be verb that tells us about the tense of passive voice. Now, for example, here we discuss about the present continuous tense. Now, in present continuous tense, there are to be verbs is being, are being. प्रेजेंट टेंस में जो टू बी वर्ब्स हैं वो है इज एंड आर, बट इन प्रेजेंट कंटिन्यूअस टेंस में हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स हैं इज बीइंग, आर बीइंग. सो प्रेजेंट कंटिन्यूअस, present is, present continuous tenses is being. Being indicates about the continuous tense. Are, this is present to be verb plural, and are being ing shows or indicates the present continuous tense. So sentence is Ali is writing a story. It's very much clear. Who's writing a story? Ali is writing. So when we ask question with who and the answer is Ali, it means Ali is subject. Otherwise, it's also clear that Ali is the doer of action. What kind of action? That is writing. So Ali is writing a story. Is writing, when we use is, then principal verb, there will be addition of ing. Means to be verb is, main verb, principal plus ing. So then it becomes present continuous tense. So while understanding active and passive voice, we also keep the tenses in our mind. Okay, Ali writes a story. Now Ali is writing a story. How a present tense changes into present continuous tense. Ali writes. Now Ali is writing. Writes present. So again, in present continuous tense is writing. A story, noun, stands for object. A story in grammar, it is noun. But what's its position? Its position of the story is of object. So Ali is writing a story means subject and verb and object. So now come to the last sentence. A story is being written by Ali. Now a story is object in active voice. It has taken place of subject. Place of subject is first. A story means object transfers to the place of subject and subject transfers to the place of object. So a story. Now verb is writing. Now verb is writing. Is writing. Write. जब write था तो is written था. अब भी राइट का पास्ट पार्टिसिपल डालेंगे मगर एज देयर इज नो राइट ओनली बट इज राइटिंग मींस इंक इज देयर सो इंक को खत्म करने के लिए क्या होगा इज बीइंग अ स्टोरी इज बीइंग रिटन बाय अली दे आर प्लेइंग गेम गेम इज प्लेड बाय देम they are playing game is being played so is playing means is being played are talking means are being talked suppose my friends are watching TV my friends are watching TV are watching shows again present continuous tense so my friends are watching TV so TV is being watched a TV is singular so is being watched my friends are bringing books my friends are bringing books now bringing books is object it will take place of subject books now as books are plural so here we will say the books are being brought past participle of bring so as Ali is writing a story is being written by Ali a story is object is being written verb by Ali subject so object text has taken the place of subject and subject has taken the place of object so in this way object has object has transferred to the position of subject and subject has transferred has been transferred to the place of subject so this is present continuous tense now in next session we will discuss active voice and passive voice relation there we will discuss some rules of changing active voice into passive voice and passive voice into active voice. So today's lecture is finished and hope you would have got all the things. I tried my level best and you see that if any question you can contact your CR and send your questions to the CR and CR will send me to answer those questions. Again, I'll send to the CR and CR will share the answers of your questions with you. So thank you very much that you